Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Kassia. On this channel, we discuss all aspects of the ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. So we're going to be doing the weekly astrological forecast, and as it is the 13th of October that I'm recording this, we're going to be starting it on the 13th, and we're going to be going until the 17th of October. So we are going to be ending this astrological forecast the day before Mercury stations direct. So we got this final sweep here, this final week of Mercury in retrograde. We also have Jupiter stationing direct this week. And so as I'm filming this on the 13th, Jupiter is actually going to be stationing according to my specific astrology app tomorrow, the 14th, and will remain stationed for the majority of the week. And when I say stationed, what I mean is appearing as though it's standing still in the sky. This is what happens when planets are moving one direction and then they begin shifting direction, right? They go through this period where they appear not to be moving at all. And as we know and understand, it's all about appearance. When we say that planets are retrograde, it's really from our vantage point on Earth that they appear to be moving in a different direction than what they normally do. And because of this, we call it retrograde. It's this apparent backward motion that really brings us into a more introspective place. It brings the energy more internally, and it gives us a different perspective and understanding. So we've had many different planets retrograde, and they've all been in their process of stationing throughout this month of October. We had last week with Pluto stationing direct, as well as Saturn stationing direct, and this week we get that energy with Jupiter, and we get Mercury at the end of his retrograde. So beginning to slow down as we near the end of the week in order to station, as we talked about, and then begin moving direct once more. So powerful, powerful energies, a powerful week. We did begin this week with that 1010 portal, which was incredibly powerful. I've had a cold going on throughout the week. We were just informed, some of the people in my immediate circle who've also had this cold were informed that it is the thing, right? The thing that people are talking so much about. You guys know what I'm talking about. And so we're still in the process of recovering from that, but I love you guys, and I wanted to get on here and make a video for you. I am developing those beautiful natural antibodies right now, taking lots of beneficial vitamins. Thank you to those of you who made suggestions as to different things that I could take to help boost and bolster my immune system and assist in this process. That has definitely been very helpful. So I love you guys. I've been feeling all your beautiful healing vibes and energies. Needless to say, it was an interesting 1010 portal for me. But I know the energies of that were really, really intense for a lot of people. We received a lot. It's really, and we can see as we move through the astrology of this week, how all of the astrological energies are really assisting us in this process of stepping more deeply into our soul, stepping more deeply into our integrity and our path, and really stepping up as leaders in our own lives, which was very much what that 1010 portal energy was all about. So we're going to get into it. Each day is going to be time-stamped for you guys down below, and I'm also going to, I think I forgot to pull a card last week, but we're going to pull a crystal card at the end for some additional energy to help guide us through the week. So all of that's going to be time-stamped below for people. I have been incredibly thirsty this past week, so you guys are probably going to see me drinking a lot of water as we go through this video. It's the one thing that my body is being very clear that it's wanting and craving as it's moving through this healing process right now is water, water, water. So that hydration definitely kicking into high gear here. All right, so on today, the 13th, we have Venus in Sagittarius sextiling Saturn in Aquarius, who, as we talked about, has just stationed direct last week. So this is Saturn really moving forward now. Saturn in this direct motion is really asking us to put things into practice, right? This is kind of like where the rubber meets the road kind of an energy. So when we have this sextile with Venus in Sagittarius, right, which is a very exploratory energy. There's actually a video that I just put out on from Venus and Sagittarius. Some really beautiful messages came through for that. So I encourage you guys to check out that video if you haven't yet. But this, with the Saturn in Aquarius and the Venus in Sagittarius, this is a really fun energy, right? This is a very expressive energy. Aquarius is a very expressive type of an energy. Sagittarius is very expressive energy. And we're really going to be looking at the ways that we can do things differently than we've done them in the past. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to finances, all of these different things that Venus energy represents, right? And that Saturn energy is really asking us to get serious, right? And so we're looking at the ways that we can do things differently. And we're also really being called to make a commitment to those things that have a deeper meaning and value to us. Remember, Sagittarius energy is all about that deeper meaning, and Venus is all about value. And so we're really looking at that, and we're making those long-term goals with the Saturn energy, right? We're making these commitments. We're making these long-term goals to the things that matter the most to us. And with this energy, we're also going to have a greater concern for the collective, for the larger whole, because of this Aquarian energy here. And the implications that our decisions have, both in our personal world and the world at large, are going to be a factor in our minds as we move forward, as we're making these commitments, as we are developing and cultivating these long-term goals, but coming up with these creative ways to go about achieving the things that we're wanting to achieve. So that's a really beautiful energy that we have supporting us today on the 13th. We also have the moon conjunct Pluto today. So this is, of course, a very intense aspect. The moon being our emotional nature, being our instinctual, habitual nature, sometimes a little bit of our more hidden nature. And Pluto, of course, being that planet of power. And so we're looking at this energy, also the planet of the shadow, right? So some of those shadow energies may be stirred up today, but it's really a huge empowering energy, especially in the sign of Capricorn. So there's a deep maturity to the energy today, an emotional maturity, this understanding of how to work with and utilize our emotions for our benefit. How can our emotions be empowering for us? How can we utilize them to create? How can we actually capitalize on the energy of our emotions and our emotional processes today? And how can we view things from that more enlightened perspective, right? That the Capricorn energy of maturity really playing a role here today. So seeing how we have matured emotionally, or where it is that we could still use a little additional maturation today. We also have, there's a lot of magnetism with this energy. There's this beautiful energy of transformation and regeneration when we're working with the energy of Pluto. So it's not only a day of emotional mastery and maturity, but a day of emotional regeneration. And so we may be feeling or experiencing that in a lot of different ways today. As we move into tomorrow, the 14th, we have Jupiter stationing. So that Jupiter isn't moving direct yet, but Jupiter, like we talked about, is now slowed down and standing still in the sky. So we have that energy really powerful and potent on the 14th, and then throughout the rest of the week, as Jupiter will remain stationed throughout the rest of the week. And as Jupiter stations today, Jupiter is making a sextile to Eris and a sextile to Juno, as well as aspecting the part of fortune and opposing the vertex, which is the point of fate in a chart. So this is a really powerful energy. This is really huge when it comes to our empowerment in relationships, right? With that Juno energy, Juno being the asteroid that represents marriage and partnership. That Eris energy we know is that feminine warrior energy, right? She's like that mix of Mars and Pluto with that feminine spin to her. So really in this energy of standing up for our truth, this energy of just standing up for ourselves in general, and really being able to speak about what we need and what we desire. And this is going to be a theme as we move throughout the week. This energy of us really being able to identify and state our needs. So just a really beautiful, empowering energy for us in relationship in all areas of our lives, especially whatever area of our chart Jupiter is stationing in. And then with this part of fortune, which is a point of fulfillment and happiness in our charts. There's a lot of beautiful, beneficial energy. I'm really feeling today as an energy that's allowing us and giving us the ability to really powerfully attract what we desire into our lives from our point of vibration. And so really paying attention to what it is that we are creating and attracting with our vibration today, and maybe utilizing that in order to attract in the things that we are most desiring. This also feels like a day where we may experience fated encounters, right? So people coming into our reality that have a purpose, right? And we never know what that purpose is, right? It could be, we talk about people come in for a reason or a season. We don't really know, but definitely encounters today that are fated and hold an importance in our evolutionary journey. Definitely feeling that energy. We also have the moon today in Aquarius making some major aspects as well, including a square to Uranus, who is conjunct true black moon right now. So this is a really powerful aspect between the Aquarius energy and the Uranus and true black moon energy. Remember, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. This is an energy that's really pushing us more deeply into our authenticity. Anywhere where we are feeling or sensing that any person or thing is attempting to suppress or repress aspects of who we are, aspects of our authenticity, that is, something or someone is not allowing us to be who we truly are and express that the way we want to express that in the world, we're going to feel a major desire to push back against that energy today. We are really going to want to, it's going to feel very important for us to be able to stand in our authenticity and express ourselves in the world the way that we desire to express ourselves today. And with this Jupiter energy, this big expansive energy, right? It's definitely like a larger than life kind of feel to the energy for many of us. On the 15th, we have the moon still in Aquarius conjunct Jupiter, trining Mars, Eris, and Juno. And so basically the moon moving into this Jupiter, Eris, and Juno conglomeration that we have here. Jupiter, of course, still stationed, still incredibly powerful. And meeting the moon today, this is just a really extra expansive kind of an energy that we're going to be experiencing. And so this is where, once again, we are going to feel that enhanced capability to pursue our desires, to get our needs met, and to be honest and frank about what those desires and what those needs are. So this is a beautiful action-oriented kind of an energy. An energy, once again, with this Aquarius energy, also with this Libra energy coming in here, where we are concerned with what is fair, what is just, and what is right, not only for ourselves, but for the greater whole as well. So there's a big theme of that going on this week as well, as we're really looking at that need for fairness and justice. One aspect that we have pretty continuous throughout this week is the Sun and Mars moving into the position where Mercury was at in relation to Pluto and Eris. So now we have the Sun and Mars present, creating a T-square with Pluto and Eris. And we talked about this a lot with the energies of Mercury, where this is the energy of empowerment. This is the energy of us noticing and paying attention to where injustice exists, to where things have been swept under the carpet, where there have been important things that have not been acknowledged or discussed, and feeling as though we cannot allow that to be, right? Like we have to say something, we have to acknowledge. It's like that energy of acknowledging the elephant in the room. This energy of really coming into our empowerment in a big, bold way, and wanting that and desiring that for every single person, right? Not just for ourselves. We're concerned with the entire whole right now. And we're really concerned on a microcosmic level in our personal lives. And like we said, on a macrocosmic level with the collective energy at large, when it comes to where it is that our personal sovereignty has been compromised, or we have been asked to compromise that personal sovereignty, where we have been giving our power away, and really calling us to step back into our power and take creative control over our own lives. So that energy just pervading the entire week, really. All right, now moving back here. Let's see. Yes, on the 15th as well, we have Mercury opposing Chiron. And so as Mercury opposes Chiron, nearing the end of its retrograde here, this is really bringing up some of those old wounds, but it's bringing up our need and our desire to talk about them, to talk through our healing process, to be honest with others as well as ourselves about what that process has looked like, what we have learned about ourselves, especially with that Aries energy, once again, when it comes to our independence, because Chiron is in Aries, our independence, when it comes to our ability to move through our own lives with courage and confidence, right? It's that energy of really moving forward and being our own person in the world. And so wherever it is that these wounds, this old programming is coming back up to the surface, are coming to light, any conversations we need to have with people surrounding this, we're going to feel very, very drawn to have today. And we will receive some benefit from being able to talk about those energies and to sift through those energies, to understand those. And once again, like we said, this theme will be repeating throughout the week. We're coming back to, how is it that I communicate my needs and my wants? Right? What does my self-talk look like? That's another thing that will be coming into focus today as Mercury ends the end of this retrograde. And remember, this Mercury retrograde has been all about reprogramming the mind, right? We've had 3 Mercury retrogrades in air signs throughout 2021, and it has been about reprogramming the mind. This, as well as the series of eclipses that we had along that Sagittarius-Gemini axis, with the nodes in South Node in Sagittarius, North Node in Gemini, with the belief systems as well, which is another aspect of the mind. There's been a lot of different ways that our minds, we've been gaining mastery over our minds throughout this year. And so this is another check-in point when it comes to that. There's a lot of air in the chart for the 15th. And so a lot of air and fire in general throughout the week, and definitely a lot of air today. So that talking things out is going to be so important. We just want to make sure that when we're talking to people, we're not reenacting old wounds, right? We're talking from a more balanced place where we're not talking out of our wounding, right? We're not having reactive discussions. We're having responsive discussions and thoughtful discussions with others, as well as with ourselves. And then on the 16th, we have the Sun in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So this is definitely going to be an intense energy as well. This tension, and of course, this is... and you know what I just realized is the Sun... So this is part of that T-square, right, that we were talking about. So on the 16th, the Sun is going to be perfecting its square to Capricorn. But the Sun's going to be within range of that square throughout the week. That's where we have this energy of the Sun and Mars, both activating or reactivating this T-square with Pluto and Eris. But on the 16th, that Sun and Pluto energy is going to be exact as far as that square goes. So we're going to be feeling that aspect especially powerfully today. And so this is where we have that tension coming back up around our need to be the authority versus our need or our ability to constructively work with others. That's another way that this aspect may be showing itself, and we may be experiencing it, is like, where do we feel that we need the power and the control, and where is it that we can give up power and control or share that power and control? So issues of control really coming to the forefront today. And that our desire for harmony versus our desire to be in control of our own destiny. Right? Where do we compromise that in order to achieve harmony? And is that true harmony? So all of these really important questions that are coming to the surface. And so this has been under the surface throughout the week as we have had the Sun and Mars in aspect of that T-square. But on the 16th, when the Sun comes into this exact squaring position with Pluto, we're going to be feeling it that much more acutely. And so we may have some opportunities in our lives to practice what we've been learning here, to have that opportunity to stand in our truth and our power, even if it ruffles some people's feathers, and to really see, like we said, where it is that we may have our own issues of control come into the surface, and where it is that we may be called to compromise versus where it is that we know that there is no compromise, right? Because that compromise, that a very active compromise would be compromising something much more important, some integral piece of who we are. On the 17th, Mercury's final day in retrograde, we have Mercury in a sextile to Venus in Sagittarius. And so once again, on this final day in retrograde, Mercury bringing back in that focus when it comes to these energies of Venus, right? Venus being the ruler of Libra, which Mercury is in retrograde in. And so these are those areas of finance, of our creative processes, of, yes, absolutely, our relationships. So, yeah, with this Venus and Sagittarius energy, though, it's really beautiful because it's giving us an opportunity to communicate on a much deeper level. Like, we're really getting philosophical today. We're wanting to come to a deeper understanding with the people in our lives. We're really wanting to understand each other, where it is that we're coming from, and explore our relationships, our creative processes, and our approach to abundance, seeing the deeper meaning within everything that we've been experiencing, right? Because that Sagittarian energy is always looking for the deeper meaning. So really finding that deeper meaning, finding those deeper lessons in the themes that we have been exploring throughout this Mercury retrograde in Libra. Yeah, and so that is summing it up right there as far as the astrology of the week. And let's get into some liquid crystal cards here. Clear. What crystals want to accompany us and want to aid us as we navigate this week? The 13th through the 17th. This final week of Mercury retrograde this week with Jupiter stationing. So it does feel, with Jupiter being that planet that is classically associated with luck and optimism and faith, we could be feeling that renewed sense of optimism and faith as we move through this week, which is really beautiful. Faith in ourselves, faith in each other, faith in spirit, right? In the world at large. So a beautiful, beautiful spirited energy I'm feeling for us this week. And we have Green Calcite coming up, letting go. And the crystal deva associated with Green Calcite is Kelelum. So take in the light language on that card. Receive that activation from Green Calcite, from the Master Crystal Deva. And we're going to see what this has to say here. Interesting, on the bottom of the deck, we also have another green card, Dioptase. And Dioptase is the healing heart. So deep healing coming in for people. Deep heart healing, right, with these two green, these heart chakra colors coming up. And let's see what Green Calcite has to say. I'm gonna hold that up for you guys again. For too long you have looked back over a shoulder that was turned forward in choice. Enter now my compassionate and loving embrace. Take the hand of the Lady Master Kuan Yin and judge yourself not. The time has come to let go with joy. Only then can a new cycle be born. Let me aid you to the space of calm healing, soothing all that is in our path. I am gentle, bringing safety and reassurance. I will sail with you upon the sea of healing with the minimum of pain. I am like ice in the ocean, flowing and smooth. Feel my cooling hand lift the weight from your shoulders and help reestablish you in the world. Come, journey on the dragonfly's back. Be by my side. By my side, a cycle has been reborn. Regret nothing, forgive all, and be free to receive your creations through the ever-patient and accepting eye of love's eternal storm. Walk your path of realization in the starry sea of the universal breath. Let's see. Of the many color frequencies in the calcite family of crystals, green calcite is perhaps the softest, often displaying one of the most gentle color frequencies in the mineral kingdom. All calcites are excellent at facilitating the management of multiple realities or levels of being into oneness. Green calcite, with its remarkable clarity and soft mint green hue, helps anchor this characteristic into the heart, carrying all it finds in there into the now. Guided by an open heart and universal mind, in green calcite's embrace, movement through new territory becomes a fearless and calm process. Green calcite is the crystal of letting go. She enters the mind with her healing, cooling, and calming vibration, and melts away any attachments to old ways and situations, then creates a calm and centered space for the rebuilding and manifestation of new paths in life. Though she is able to stimulate change by herself, often in Atlantis, powerful manifestation crystals, such as ruby, garnet, and topaz, followed green calcite with potent, life-changing results. Green calcite holds the sacred vibration of the Lady Kuan Yin and Lady Pallas Athena, a perfect match to their glorious light and lessons. It will link you powerfully. Green calcite is most calming and cooling of all the green crystal minerals, able to settle heated anger and powerfully calm the nerves. She is a relaxant and will help in all forms of stress and its related illnesses, especially in the digestive system. And so if you are experiencing ascension systems related to your digestion or your nerves, or if you are having those conversations that you know you're going to need that extra calm, right, that may get heated, utilizing green calcite in any of those situations, or if there's something that you're just ready to release and let go in order for your heart to receive a greater level of healing, right? Let's see. And so if green calcite has shown up today, it is time to cut ties and release yourself forward. Every day in life is a challenge of integration and growth. That which is not recognized is left awaiting our return to deliver its important lessons and messages. Remember, all in our world is valid and has purpose. The time has come to heal and forgive yourself into wholeness, where you can see the totality of you and your creations. Green calcite calls forward the parts left behind in moments where we feared or allowed unrealized power, love, or wisdom to direct us. From that moment forward, your life has not been your own, tainted by the influence of another person, job, place, or circumstance. Letting go is not the loss of anything. In truth, it is the rediscovery of you and your path in the world, untainted and whole. Love, forgive, and heal. When the mind perceives the end, the spirit is just beginning. Journey on. And the affirmation is, I am free in the now. And so this is like detachment. This is letting go. This is detachment. This is releasing control, right? So those energies of control that we were talking about coming up, this green calcite can really help with that. Releasing that fear that lies underneath that need to control, right? Very, very powerful for all of that, for this energy of forgiveness, for this energy of taking back our power, right? Where we allowed something to have power over us and we're now taking back that power. This is that allowing that healing process that needs to happen in order for that to occur. So really, really powerful energies as we are moving forward, right? When we let go and we're no longer clinging to the past, we have that freedom to move forward. So really us gaining a deeper sense of freedom by being present in the now, letting go of anything from the past, any of the anger, the resentments, any of that stuff that we're simply not holding on to anymore. Right, as we move forward. It's like sometimes I think we hold on to resentment and things like that because we think that it gives us some sense of control. Like if I'm still angry about this, that means that I won't allow myself to be treated that way again. Or whatever the case may be, right? But like green calcite is letting you know, like you don't have to hold on to that. You can hold on to the wisdom and you can retain the strength without holding on to the anger. Right? Because that anger is really just eating you up inside, whether you realize it or not. That resentment, that anger, those energies are toxic to our own systems. So releasing that and letting that go. And I'm going to read about dioptase too, because I really feel these energies working together for us this week. Dioptase, the master crystal deva of Matazel, says, feel my touch. Let it open the emerald green stairs into your heart, and together let us ascend them slowly. For today there is only completion and healing. I ask you now to look back in anger, resentment, and judgment no more, for I have come to lovingly guide you in the art of focused manifestation, of which your life is the result. Remember, the heart is pure beyond the veil of self-judgment, and together we will lift it so. Through your own emerald eyes, you will see the perfection that you are. Feel the emerald shower of my compassion surround you and let it detach you into freedom. So interesting, that energy of freedom coming up again. I hold the pure healing intent of the green ray at your disposal, anchored into the black of the earth. In my presence, the lightning flash of emerald light has healed the scars of the heart and now lives in you. Allow me to ground the basis of love, physical and unconditional. Let them find their home within you, completing the cycle of the ages in the now and anchoring permanently in the hearts of all you touch the blessings of the Infinite One. So once again, that energy of being present in the now. Let's see. What do we want to read here? No mineral on earth can go as deeply into the heart energies physically and create healing as Dioptes. Dioptes' principal lesson is that of the open heart. It teaches the importance of compassion, non-attachment, attachment, and non-judgment. It is perfect for healing relationships where there is a lack of understanding and poor communication. But it comes into its own after relationships, where it acts as an unconditional light, sealing the halves of a broken heart together in a flash of green lightning. So for anyone who has been experiencing this painful energy in relationships, as we have had a huge focus on that throughout this Mercury retrograde that's completing this week, whether you're breaking up or whether you're mending fences, this energy of Dioptes can really, and Green Calcite can really assist in letting go, right? Because even if you are healing a relationship and it is transforming and continuing on, there has to be a level of letting go and releasing of all of those resentment, all of the frustration, all of those energies that were present in the first place, right? We have to heal those and move on from those in order for a relationship to continue to grow. And if it has been determined that the relationships in your lives are no longer going to stand the test of time, right? And you're stepping away from those, this energy can be really helpful for that as well. This crystal is wonderful for healers that have done too much and allowed themselves to become burnt out, thus losing the healer identity. It balances sensitivity and self-judgment, and then reignites the healer for the good of all, including the self, often with new skills. Oh, interesting. So if you're needing to fill your cup back up, this Dioptes is going to be really helpful for that. Let's see. Dioptes can also be coupled up with petrified wood and double terminated quartz crystals to powerfully remember past lifetimes. Interesting. Potent healer, especially for headaches and migraines, for shock and emergency situations. In Atlantean times, Dioptes was known as the Earth Emerald and was used to unlock the heart, reveal and train one in their true healing gifts, something that is still able to do today when we are ready. In Atlantis, Dioptes was a crystal of the 11th city, Shambhala, and was only worked with directly by high priests and priestesses of that city. Dioptes is one of the many crystals that in Atlantean times were usually only worked with in trinities, specialized sets of 3 stones that complemented each other in their healing action. Its healing ability was greatly respected and very well known. The action of Dioptes at its highest spiritual level is known as the process of resurrection or rebirth. But it can only do this after the release or death of something, the letting go, right? Important ancient Atlantean masters that were high priestesses and priests of the crystal Dioptes in the 11th city Shambhala include Kuan Yin, Isis, Sananda, Jesus, Akhenaten, the Lady Tara, and Archangel Mary. They all still answer in its frequency. So if you're wanting to communicate with any of those beings, they will answer in the frequency with the frequency of Dioptes. And so for your healing journey with Dioptes, we have, on this day your heart will be healed. Wherever Dioptes goes, broken hearts are healed and carried into understanding. The presence of this crystal for you indicates that some of the many lessons of love are ready to be embraced. Compassion, patience, non-judgment, listening, truthfulness, non-attachment, equality, and respect are all good starting points. Dioptes has come to hold the heart open. She indicates a new relationship or path of love, but remember, for new things to occur, one must be prepared to look forward, take action, and free attachments and expectations. Dioptes can also present when you have allowed others to cloud your judgment, other crystals. Can also present when you have allowed others to cloud your judgment. So sit quietly alone and make your decisions. This crystal's presence tells you you have the answers. The above-mentioned masters may be utilizing the frequency of dioptase to communicate with you. Place this card or crystal to your heart and listen. And the affirmation is, I am all-loving, my heart is pure. Yeah. So, and then there's, I'll include all the different healing trinities in the description box below for you guys. But really powerful heart healing energies that we are being called to work with this week, as we are clearly having this major upgrade and healing of the heart chakra, and this deep energy of healing, of forgiveness, of letting go, of moving forward in this place of unity, right? It talked about in this Green Calcite card, the unifying of the different aspects of the self. So there's a deep piece of self-love, self-forgiveness, and self-healing that we are being called upon to, or that is happening for us, or being presented for us as an option this week. So really, really beautiful energies here, you guys. I absolutely love it. I love every single one of you. I appreciate you so very much. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling about this week's energies, or just say hello. I love you guys. I appreciate you so very, very much. I am still going to be seeing personal remote clients this week. So if you guys want to book a one-on-one session with me, don't hesitate to reach out to me. The information for that is in the description box below. And there are links to donate if you feel so moved to donate to support the channel. If you found these messages helpful, it is appreciated, of course. But I appreciate each and every single one of you simply for existing and being here and sharing your beautiful light. So thank you for that, and have a beautiful, beautiful week.